So my goal is to turn you guys into savages, beasts across the board so that you can crush it. You can make money, be the best family man, and grow and have a purpose. Every day, I want you to wake up fired up. If I can overcome my challenges in life and the shit that I've been through, you guys can do anything.
I know that I need to be better for my family. I need to be better for our business. And then you started talking and I was like, okay, I wrote it down. From right now to the rest of my life, I'm going to be sober.
Let's go! Woo!
My man, 𝐒𝐞𝐚𝐧, what's up, brother?
Let's go, baby. I love that.
Hey, that thing fires me up every time. And of course, that was my first experience with you, and it was badass, dude. So thank you so much for coming out. And I mean, hats off to you, brother. You had a huge hand in one of the biggest moments in our first event. You know, you were in the room. Lacey's pumped up right there, dude. So, great motivation.
Yeah, and seeing people that are in that room that want to level up and grow and acknowledge it. Like, I was so proud of her. And then seeing the event you guys put on, you killed it. You know, I've been to events where it's like a bigger venue, it's a bigger audience, but your event, the energy and the people was one of the best I was at last year because of who, and that's a reflection of you guys. You know what I mean? So I'm proud of you, man. I can't wait for round 2. It's going to be dope.
Let's go. Guys, I got 𝐒𝐞𝐚𝐧 with me today. He's the founder and CEO of Unstoppable 365. I assume it's motherfucker, right? Get it? MFR. You guys can find him pretty much everywhere. And I mean, Sean's doing it. He's got an awesome story, some stuff he's overcame. He's written a book about it. What's the name of your book, Sean? And where do they find that?
Yeah, right.
You got it. Yeah.
Prison of Your Own. Grab it on Amazon.
You guys go grab that. Check it out. Hey, you Gutter Growth members, if we want to get one for everybody, let's make it happen. Let's figure that out. That thing is powerful. You are powerful. Why are you so powerful right now, Mr. Crane? What are you doing?
Because I died and God gave me a second chance at life. Check this out, man. Like,
yeah.
We don't know what's at stake until it's taken away. We don't know how precious life is and all these, we were talking offline just about the opportunities living in America right now that so many people take for granted because they weren't born in Venezuela or Thailand or some shit, right? Or they didn't grow up in the 1800s. Like, my life experience put things in perspective in a way where I'm able to wake up every day grateful, hungry, and motivated to conquer all my challenges and live the ultimate life. And so my goal now is to infuse everybody I come across with that same passion and energy, because for the longest time, I was holding back in life. I was making excuses. I was procrastinating, and time was just going by. Years and decades of my life were passing by. And I got to a place where I thought my life was over. I was sitting in a jail cell facing life in prison at 23. And I thought it was all over, bro. And in that moment, I realized that I hadn't lived the life that I truly wanted to live, that I didn't even come close to reaching my potential. And I did it to myself. It wasn't my parents. It wasn't my upbringing. It wasn't anything else but my decisions. In that moment, it tortured me, but it also lit this fire inside of me that's never gone out. And it's understanding what's at stake and realizing that anybody listening to this, you are fully capable to achieve anything that you determine you want and deserve. Right. So like, most people don't achieve at the level they want because they don't think it's possible and they just limit themselves.
Yeah.
You can fucking grow. You could change. You can learn. You can adapt. You got to be resourceful. You can evolve. If you would have met me 20 years ago, Grant, you would be like, man, that's not even the same person.
Right.
And that's the way it should be. We can change and evolve every week, every month, every year, but it has to be a concentrated effort. And you got to figure out, where the hell am I going and why do I want to get there?
Yeah, and you got to have some accountability. I mean, it really gets completely wrapped around the vine with accountability. If you don't have that, that's what you're offering people right now. That's what I see, right? You're like, hey, if you want to wake up and go a certain direction with intention, you'll help them get there. How are you doing that?
Yeah. So I founded Unstoppable 365, roughly 5 years ago. At that time, it was just a company I was forming on my own, sharing my story on my phone, bro, on Facebook, and telling people the truth about how I got here. And so I built that coaching program. It was mindset, it was fitness, it was nutrition. It was helping men who felt like they were missing something, that they were holding themselves back, helping them get clear on how to actually level up and become a better version of themselves. And I just showed them the things that I did to change my mindset, to grow, to get fit, to get healthy, to be able to create that spark where I could bring a different energy into my life. And so I grew that company into a 7-figure business. Now we have 15 team members. We help people all over the country. We help men and women. So it's we have an app, and all our clients follow the daily workouts, the nutrition, the habits. And when you talk about accountability, we can measure and track who's doing what. So just like in a business, you have a P&L, and you have the data, so you can make informed decisions. We've applied that same concept to personal goals so that we can get people to where they want to be in life.
Okay, I dig it for sure. So you do a lot of speaking. How long have you been doing the speaking? And like, I want to talk to you a little bit about like getting other people. Like, let's speak about on the Lacey situation, right? When she immediately called her shot, she did some life-changing shot calls right there. And then she also just threw in, I'm also going to go speak and tell people about it. And brother, me and you have been in some of the same dungeons, and it's nice when you change your life and you find that fire and you don't even got to search for it no more. Like when I wake up, like we know what the day looks like, how we're just going to keep pushing because we have a vision. Tell me a little bit about how it's continually igniting your flame, getting up there on stages, and like, are you getting that energy from the crowd, or is it you just pushing it to them? Like, what does it feel like for you up there in those moments?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, the life I'm living today is the life that I once dreamt of and prayed for. So being able to get to this point has been my purpose in life, and then when you get to teach other people or mentor other people, it's almost like you relive your journey through them. You remember what it was like when you first committed to change. You remember what it was like when you first raised your hand and said, I want to be that person. It's powerful, because a lot of people, you see them, they get to a certain place in life that they always wanted to be, and then they sabotage themselves. Like you see people when they get to the top, bro, whether it's an athlete, a celebrity, an entrepreneur, and they fucking have this downfall. They forgot that feeling when they first started about who they wanted to be and why it was important to them. So for me, mentoring others, speaking on stages, like I love people. I want to see everyone win. I still remember the feeling of just being a loser, a shadow of the man I wanted to be, and just knowing in my heart I was capable more, but not knowing how to move forward. I know that feeling. And when I finally just was able to break through that stuck point and go after my goals and dreams, it was one of the best feelings in the world. And then to materialize those goals and realize, damn, I knew it. I'm capable. Look at what I've been able to do. Like, I want to see everyone experience that, because I think a lot of people never do, bro. Like that fear and that doubt or whatever it is that holds them back, it plagues them till the day they die. So, my mission is to replicate the feeling I've been able to have inside myself in as many human beings as possible until the day I die.
You're spot on. Like, a lot of people grow up really fucked up. Like, there's a lot of bad parents out there. And then there's a lot of parents that are really trying, but they just got too many hurdles to overcome, whether it's drugs, alcohol, sex, whatever it may be, right? Health issues, and they're trying their best. Then there's people not doing anything. And then there's people that are spoon-fed that somewhat have that perfect life, and they've had ideal parents to make it through society, but still not push and live their own dreams. Sometimes you got to get drugged through the mud to like really figure out what it is you want. And then when you get it, you're unstoppable. Hence what you're doing, which I really connect with. It's awesome because what you realize, we were talking about this pre-show, was like, you can want all the stuff, but are you going to sacrifice for it? Are you going to actually go after it every single day? Are you going to wake up and know that you're not going to use an excuse ever again because you're not that person anymore? Because it's harder to just be lazy and lie and steal and cheat than it is to wake up and just fucking win every single day.
So this is what I found.
Okay, so you're telling me my clogged gutters caused all this? I had no idea.
Yeah, unfortunately, most homeowners don't think about their gutters until this kind of stuff happens.
Wow.
Prevent unexpected and costly damage from clogged gutters. Protect your home with One Gutter Guard, the trusted solution for gutter protection. Call us today to find out why more homeowners are choosing One Gutter Guard.
Yeah. And the difference between, so you either want something or you have to have it. And there's a big difference. A lot of people want more money. They want to be healthier. They want a better relationship. But when you have to fucking have something, you will do whatever it takes to achieve it. And that's the difference. And, you know, the determining factor for most people is their pain threshold has not been met. Human beings are motivated by two things. It's to seek pleasure and to avoid pain. It's wired in our brains. And this goes way back to just survival times. So the thing is, if you're, let's say, just an average dude and you haven't done shit in your life, for you to be able to have this vision of becoming a multimillionaire and just living the ultimate life and just all these beautiful things, there's a disconnect. The average person will not believe they are capable to achieve that. So most people in the early stages, they're not going to be motivated by these illustrious, grandiose goals and visions. They don't even fucking believe it's possible. But if you have a guy who overdoses and gets a second chance at life, or he gets a DUI and he wrecks his car and freaking kills somebody, or hurts somebody, or like me, go to jail and prison, you think your life's over. Dude, that pain will motivate the fuck out of you to change like that. You know what I mean? So early on, oftentimes it's pain that will motivate people to change. Now, a lot of people don't go through those circumstances and life's kind of hard, kind of easy. They're right in the middle and they just keep doing the same shit. So once people are motivated to change though, and they start on that journey, once they start building up some belief, some momentum, and they kind of get away from that stuck point, that's when the goals and the visions become compelling and they can pull you through anything, right? Because now you believe like, damn, okay, I got a year of sobriety. Look at, I'm losing weight. I'm starting to make a little money. You know, if I keep going, maybe this other thing's possible. And that's why it's important to have goals and that vision as you get further on the path.
You got to have those small wins, right? You know that as a coach, small wins are so huge. And sometimes, like me and you or myself, like, you know, I was just banging my head against the wall for so many years, especially as a youngin'. In my teenage years and 20s, it took me till I was about almost 32 to actually start to grow up. You know, 15, 17 years ago, it's like, all right, but I started getting some small wins and I started building momentum. You know, and then all the other stuff that comes with that, and then determination. Sometimes us guys that mess up at the beginning of our lives are the guys that are going to just be the biggest champions. And you start to look around the room of a ton of winners and they start telling you some of the dumb stuff they did and how they overcame it. It's almost a really common story, you know?
Yeah, because dude, I'm making up for lost time. So I'm moving fast. I'm thinking bigger and I'm taking action faster than the average person because I wasted a lot of time. And you know, like, dude, like this is my last shot. I'm not going to fuck this one up. So adversity early on in life is a blessing. It's a blessing when you learn how to leverage those experiences. It's going to give you more drive, more passion, more urgency, a different level of gratitude than somebody that just hasn't gone through anything. But, you know, the way you really start building yourself up is like you said a second ago, it's small wins daily. Keeping promises to yourself so that internally you feel proud of who you're becoming. And that's why, for me, fitness has become a superpower and why I'm such a strong advocate for fitness, because there's nowhere else in the world, no other arena in the world that you can show up daily and stack wins like the gym. You get up early, you go work out, you do some hard shit. On the other end of that hour-long gym session is a feeling of, damn, I did it and I didn't want it. I pushed myself to another level. And you could do that every day. Like, bro, just this week, I set a PR in a certain type of squat, like a leg movement. And I lifted the most weight for the most reps I've ever done. So here's the thing. I'm 12 years into my journey. I've been working out for 12 years, and I still can leave the gym a better version of myself, right? I went to the gym that day, Sean, whatever, 8.0. I left Sean fucking 8.1, right? Because, like,
let's go.
Well, I had never done that before. So I left the gym with an accomplishment I never had. And that's a catalyst for success, bro. You want to talk about keeping inspiration high, keeping that fire and that drive lit inside of you. That's the key. It's continuous growth and continuous progress. And when you see and feel that, you truly are like, dude, I'm fucking unstoppable. Like, I'm getting better every day. I'm showing up every day. I'm doing the work. I'm putting forth the effort. And so you internalize that feeling and that belief, like, I'm a winner, I win, and this is who I am and what I do.
Okay, let's give the listeners something powerful right here. I don't have the answer to this. This is your question right here. I'm really curious. As you guys see, I'm always learning. I'm taking notes. I'm the host. I'm still writing it down. I want to learn from everybody. How do the weak push through? There's lots of guys, tons, more than we would be, care to know, and women listening to this right now. And they're like a part-timer. They've already started the change cycle in their life 4,000 times. Now they're burnt out from it. Like, they keep putting their hand on the stove. They need to reset. It's all these insecurities. Talk to us about, like, why do fucking people have so many insecurities? Like, what's up with it? Like,
people are plagued by
why is everybody hurting so bad?
Yeah, well, a lot of times it stems from somewhere. You know, what changed my life, bro, is figuring out, you know, why I was the way I was. I had to go back in time and kind of relive some memories, and I had to learn about myself. I had to understand, you know, why I had held back, why I had procrastinated, what I was scared of. I had to go back to childhood and kind of remember what I was taught, what I saw, what I was exposed to. And what we'll realize is we're all just people who have been conditioned by life experiences. And so what you have to do is, personal development is so important because you learn about yourself. You know, you have to learn about yourself. You have to learn, you know, why do you not believe in yourself? Why are you holding back? You know, what does that stem from? And recognize you can change that feeling or belief inside you. But here's the truth, man. Most people are weak because their circumstances don't require them to be anything better than that. You can just go through this mediocre, average fucking life in America, the country you probably complain about and post fucking memes about, and become nobody and nothing because strong men and women have built an amazing country. And that's a detriment to most people. You'd be better off growing up in Guatemala in the fucking sticks where you had to fight and scrap your way out of that place. Like, that's why they talk about the immigrant mentality. People that come here that are truly hungry for opportunity and they want to be successful, dude, they'll do anything. I don't see people, you know, out picking strawberries that are born in America. I see this guy every morning on the street corner, and he's making tamales. He's selling fruit. He's at 5:30 in the morning. He's on that street corner. You know, driving home from the gym, I already crushed a workout. I got that mentality. I come from nothing. My parents are dead. Nobody did shit for me. I went to prison. Like, I'm building, you know, my empire, starting with me. You know, Ed Milet talks about being the one. So here's the thing. If you're listening to this and you feel like you've been weak in the past, you can't do it, fuck all that. You can make a decision right now and you're like, I'm going to be a different person. I know that I want more for this life. I don't want to be sitting on my deathbed looking back at all these excuses and all this time wasted and all of these regrets. Those regrets will torment the fuck out of you. They will torture you until the day you take your last breath. So you got to get pissed off, dude. Like, there's no easy answer. You got to get to a time where you just kind of snap a little bit. And have you ever seen Me, Myself, and Irene, the movie with Jim Carrey?
Yeah, of course. You got to hit that rock bottom sometimes.
You know, when he's like just getting pushed over by everyone and everyone's treating him like shit. He's in the grocery store and that lady cuts in line and he just loses it, bro. He just loses it. Like, you know, he drives the car through the barber shop. The guy told him to park his car. He backs it into the barber shop wall. It kind of is something like that. You almost have to have a psychotic episode where you're fuck this. You're going to bury that past version of yourself and become this different monster that can achieve your goals.
And I dig that. I dig that for sure. Following up with that, like, execution, but I guess even more so, give us a little bit about endurance. I know that's going to be really important, right? And I think that comes past, okay, someone's weak. They get with you, they get in the program, they get with somebody like you, whatever. They make that fucking change in their life, and a couple months have gone by, and then they hit that first real plateau.
Yeah.
Where do you recommend? And obviously coaching, again, the accountability, we talk about it in our industry. Like, you can think that you're at this point where you don't need help anymore and you can stop growing and maybe survive for a little bit, maybe survive for forever, but you're not going to keep getting better. Like you say, I'm good right here. Where do we get this extra endurance from? Where do we dig for that? Talk to me about that a little bit.
That's a great point, dude. You know, I mean, consistent accountability is key, because if you're checking in with someone, you're in a mastermind in a group, you're always a part of, and you see these people constantly reaching their goals and pushing themselves, that's going to rub off on you. And it keeps everything in the forefront of your mind, like why you started, what it's for, who it's going to impact, you know. But when people forget, like we were talking about earlier, they tend to revert back to old behavior. So this is really important. And this is a cliche thing. Everyone talks about your why. But truly, your why is one of the most important things that you can discover in your lifetime. A man or woman with a strong enough why will always find a how, and they will never fucking stop. Like, my why is so deeply ingrained into who I am. I don't have to think about being motivated. I don't have to think about why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yes.
I know my path. This is the path I've committed my life to be on. And every day I'm going to execute because I know why I'm doing it, you know? And I shared something today on a clip. You know, I was talking about a lot of people, they're always searching for something. They're trying to find their way. That's okay. At one point, we're all going to be looking for our path, searching for our path.
Right.
Who am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do? At that stage, you just need to focus on becoming your best self. That's all you need to do is every aspect of your life that you can improve upon it day by day by day. And at some point, you're going to come into the realization of a greater calling or a next level in your life, right? But in order to sustain that, to really reach an amazing place of success and fulfillment in your life, you have to have that deeply ingrained why. Like, why are you doing it? What is it all for? Why does it matter? And if you can get really clear on that, bro, that will drive you every single day until you die.
For sure. For sure. I know you talk a lot about these like unique thinking patterns and stuff like that. Again, because I try to just follow everything you do. Like when you talk, when you do your stuff, when you're working out, like all your clips, your stories, I just get super fucking motivated constantly. And so I'm like, just trying to key in on that extra sauce. It's like, okay, what is like one of the number one ways you tell people like to stop thinking when they're like, you hear like you're interviewing somebody to get in your program, or you're dealing with them the first couple of days and the excuses are coming, or you know, those dumb thoughts that they shouldn't have. What's like the biggest one that's like the biggest hurdle for people?
The main one, and anybody that's in sales knows this, is you'll have a call with somebody and they'll express to you all the reasons they want to change and why it's so important to them. They'll give you all the good answers, right? All the truth. And then the moment that they have to actually commit and either make a payment or really commit to a course of action, suddenly they freeze. And this is indicative of what takes place internally and in our psyche. Everybody knows who they want to be. You all have a conscience, a truth that's calling you to be a certain person. But when it comes down to actually making that commitment, people start to have doubt. They start to have fear. They start to worry about what other people are going to say or think. And oftentimes they procrastinate because of that. This is how most people operate in their life. And they never actually become the person they want to be because of these invisible thoughts and ideas, these imaginary scenarios they play out. Oh, what if I start and it doesn't work out? What if I pay this money and I don't get anything out of it? What if it works out, motherfucker, and this is the best decision you've ever made and it changes your whole life? What if? So my job with my clients, especially like on these onboarding calls, is to help them to see things from a different perspective and give them a coachable moment where they recognize that their thoughts are the exact thing that's keeping them stuck in life. And at any moment, they can make a decision to do things differently. And I'm always helping them to become aware of like, hey, is this truly a decision based on who you want to be, or a decision based on fear and doubt that something will go wrong? And 9 times out of 10, if they're procrastinating, they can see it's a decision based on irrational fears and doubts, or even if they're somewhat rational, bro. Like what I've found out is if you truly go after what you want in life with everything you got, 9 out of 10 times it's going to work out, and oftentimes better than expected. That one time it doesn't work out, you pivot, you learn, you grow, and you end up turning that into a valuable experience anyways. That's a winner's mindset. Like, I never fucking lose, bro. I either win and get exactly what I wanted, or I learn and I grow through those circumstances.
It's a win-win.
So the failures, the setbacks are actually extremely valuable. Have you ever met a successful entrepreneur, business owner, 8-9 figure earner, billionaire, who didn't fail and fall on their face a million fucking times, right? And they often talk about, oh, those 25 failed businesses gave me the experience and lessons I needed to build my $1 billion empire. Like you hear that all the time. Right?
For sure.
People need to recognize that, man. People, they're hard on themselves. They think they have to do it right the first time. They think if they mess up, they're bad, they're horrible, they're losers, they're pieces of shit. They can't do it. That's not true, man. Like when you're a kid, you don't know how to walk when you come right out of the womb. You first you crawl on your stomach, then you like take steps, then a baby falls on their face how many times before they can actually walk, bro? You know? And we don't sit there and say, look at that stupid baby, they don't know how to walk. We're like clapping them on and cheering them on, like, look at, they're trying to,
he can do this.
He got right back up. It's admirable. So as we get older and we become very self-conscious around the age 11 and 12, we lose that trait, that characteristic of being resilient and not giving a fuck what people think. Instead, we become very insecure and worried about other people's perception of us. And we try to mold our behavior and mask ourselves to fit that narrative. That's why authenticity is so beautiful to see. It's so intoxicating and attractive because that's a person that doesn't care. They march to their own beat. They don't give a fuck. And if we're talking about the law of attraction and the energy we emit, authenticity is the most potent frequency we as human beings can emit.
Basement flooding, roof leaks, mold.
No. I have to clean the gutters.
Go back to sleep, honey. We installed one gutter guard.
Prevent unexpected and costly damage from clogged gutters. Protect your home with one gutter guard, the trusted solution for gutter protection. Call us today to schedule your free gutter inspection and estimate.
100%. Man, you took it right to where I wanted you to too quick. So I'll just jump ahead of where I was going to be, which is perfect. You said which is great. That's how you're rolling. The 10, 11-year-old, when you, like you said, when you really start to have some introspect, right? Or outrospect, whatever it is. Some people obviously at those ages really become extroverts, introverts. A lot of things are happening because of the hormones, especially in those ages you're talking about. Talk to us a little bit about how those hormones and how you know a lot about that health and nutrition and hormone status of people, right? Because that plays a massive role into manning up, especially when it becomes to your manning up or womaning up to get to with your physique, right? To get it to an extremely impeccable state.
Yeah. So when I started my company, it was just mindset, fitness, and nutrition coaching. Now we have Dr. J, who's one of my business partners.
Yeah.
Who does blood work for our clients, and he can give you basically, it's like having a P&L for your health. You see all your biomarkers, over 200 biomarkers that completely open your eyes to where you're at from a health standpoint. I did this 8 months ago, and it really it opened my eyes and blew my mind because I thought I was super healthy. I'm fit. I was like 7% body fat. I found out that I had something called leaky gut, which creates inflammation and all these other health issues, aches and pains, sleep apnea, you name it. And a lot of it is derived from your gut health. And then I found out my testosterone was only 500, and it should be between 800 and 1200 for optimal health, for longevity, mental acuity, and also to prevent things from like cancer and dementia from forming, and then to maximize your physicality as well. Like if your hormones are compromised, you're not going to have as much energy. You're going to feel depleted. You're not going to have as much motivation. Like a lot of guys start to experience this loss of drive, this absence of purpose in their lives around 40, 45, and they start to feel almost like depressed. Like what the hell's going on? And it's because their testosterone is very low. And this is because as we get older, our testosterone naturally is going to decline, but also we're around a lot of different pollutants that weren't here 100 years ago.
Correct.
Plastics, processed foods, pharmaceuticals, all this stuff, it has a negative and adverse effect on people's hormones. So, you know, that's one of the coolest things we're able to do now at Unstoppable 365 is hormonal replacement therapy for men who need it. Based on the blood work and monitoring it every couple of months, you can see exactly where your levels are at and your overall health and optimize it. And since I've optimized my health in the last, year, I feel like I've hit a whole nother level of focus, of endurance, of drive. Like I feel fucking amazing, dude, because everything I'm taking is for me and my body type based on the blood work. I'm not just getting shit off the black market or Amazon or taking a bunch of, pills that I got at the store. Like
just creatined out on Amazon.
Everything is the best quality products that we source right from Dr. J's pharmacy. And it's exactly what my body needs to optimize my health. And I'm going to live to be fucking 200 years old, bro, because the way I'm taking care of myself now.
Let's talk about that. So the power of elite. That's what we were talking about a little bit off camera, right? And I was like, man, you're really running an elite program and you start to feel powerful. My partners, my partners, Tim and John, they push me to an extremely high level. For our listeners, you guys see what our Gutter Growth and our Gutter Summit and some of our other companies, our Secret Weapons, et cetera, are just exploding, right? Because we want to make sure that what we're offering is elite. And therefore we have to lead by example. We got to just keep going. We got to wake up with that purpose. You hit the nail on the head. Like once I figured out what my purpose was and I was comfortable with it. Like sometimes our purpose, we don't know that that's what it's going to be. And so we're not looking in that area to be like a savior, to be a hero, to be a fisher of men, like whatever it is, to change people's lives. And then we get called upon. It's our time to serve, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, we're not ready. We don't even know how to walk that way. Right. And we've missed all these signs. And then it might take a podcast like this or one of your motivational speeches or all the stuff you're putting out on the internet and someone sees it and like, yeah, you know what? Today is the day, because they're watching people around them. We know right now this country is about to change. Right.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like, get on board and let's go. Let's get it.
We're living in, you know, for our generation, this is the most exciting time to be an American, to be alive. Like, I fucking love what I'm seeing. I feel like we got life coaches running the country now. You know, for the longest time, I was like, dude, we need like life coaches and people that know what the fuck they're doing to be leaders. Like, how did these retards become leaders? You know, you could say that word again, by the way, right?
You can say whatever you want, right?
You see, no, but seriously, I don't mess around with people's, you know, that type of stuff. But here's the truth. Like, you just had such incompetent people being leaders. And like, that's like going to a company and a business and then just realizing the owner didn't know what the fuck he was doing. You're not going to stay there. That business is going bankrupt, you know? Common sense needs to be common. But here's the thing about leadership. You have to hold yourself. If you want to be truly elite in life, number one, you have to have results, and you got to have results across the board. When you walk into a room, you want people automatically to want to know who you are and what you do. And so how do you do that? Well, you move differently. Why do you move differently? Because the things you've done for so long have created a different energy about you. You know what I mean? So to be elite, you have to have extremely high standards. You have to hold yourself to those standards, and you have to be willing to do the work consistently that most people won't do. And you go more extreme than others, bro. Like, I committed to a life of sobriety, 12 years. No drugs or alcohol. I committed to a life where I'll never eat dessert again 3 years ago. Why did I do that? Well, because I don't need fucking dessert. I had enough cake and cookies and ice cream as a kid. And most people, when they hear that, they go, oh my God. You know, but like, so elite leaders, they're different, you know?
Yeah,
like,
we're different.
You know, they're different, bro. Like, they make decisions and they do things that are unorthodox. They're not scared to go their own way in life, to burn their own path. They're not going to go with the crowd. And that's why they stand out, because everyone wants to be that way.
Yeah.
You know? And, you know, my dad, he had a lot of struggles and issues growing up, battling his addiction. He had a heart of gold. And, you know, we had a tumultuous relationship. But there's something he always told me from a young boy that was instilled into me that I'll never forget. And he'd always tell me, Sean, you're a leader. Sean, you're a leader. You're not a follower. Sean, you're a leader. He would tell me that all the time. He wanted to plant that belief because he knew what being a follower led to in life and how you end up making bad choices and never really just doing what you want. And so if you want to be elite, dude, you're going to have to stand out, and you're going to have to be okay with being polarized and not everyone loving you. And you're going to have to have thick skin, right? But at the end of the day, you got to get results that inspire everyone. Skill sets, money, physique, impact, companies. Just get the best results possible. And what do they say? The results speak for themselves, brother.
Absolutely. People always forget about the power of failure. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, everybody talks about their wins, and the greats have no problem. Like yourself, you wrote a book. Like, the power of failure. Yeah, the power of failure is huge. Like, people will come to me and they'll get on that initial prelim, you know, hey Grant, I've been watching you, you know, I admire you. You've been helping me for years behind the scenes. I think I'm ready to get into the program or this or that. And then they'll tell me about how they failed at all this stuff and they just don't want to fail again. And I'm like, no, you're done failing, brother. Like, if you start, then you're done not doing anything. It's the reason we weren't winning is because we weren't giving our all. Probably weren't even giving 50%.
Yeah. And you know what? I would rather take massive action towards my goals and dreams and just fucking fail miserably than never try. Because here's the thing too, we're creatures of habit, and the way you make decisions tends to be the way you continue to make decisions. So I'd rather take a risk, you know, bet on myself, do something that might or might not work out, as long as it aligns to my vision and who I want to be. That's me reinforcing like that version of myself versus, I want to play it safe. It might not work out. Like, I'm not going to ever let fear and doubt dictate the way I live my life. I'm never going to invest in that thought process, because it's that thought process that corrupts your potential. You start suddenly making more decisions out of doubt and fear. Oh, I'm being cautious. Oh, I'm doing this and that. Like, bro, when I first started, I got out of prison with $200 to my name, and I was making $1,600 as a personal trainer per month. Like, I was broke as hell. And I was so excited to be pursuing my vision and my purpose. But for the first like 5 years, I never saved any money. People like, oh, you're saving up. You save, like, what do you mean? No, I'm reinvesting all of it. You know how many times it was like taking the money and going to the casino and I'm all in. I'm all in on red, right? Like, I've taken all of my money so many times and invested in business coaching, invested in experiences, mentorship, things in the business to expand. Like, I'm always betting on myself and I'm putting my money where my mouth is, because that forces me to take that much more action and show up. And I've used that as a motivating factor ever since I've been home.
Man, that's awesome. It's been a pleasure talking with you today, man. I'm honored to have you on. Tell us, just end it with something about your book. Give us something out of your book that's like just going to be calling people to want to know a little bit more. Show us the book again.
Yeah.
You guys go get this book, man. Prison of Your Own by my man, Sean Michael Crane. Give us something out of it.
It's a sensational story. I mean, I was 23 and I was facing life in prison for something I didn't do. My picture was on the front page of the news press. It was a really crazy scene and scenario. So I break down exactly what happened. Two guys almost died. How could I be blamed for that? What were the details that unfolded that made me look like the culprit? Anyway, the main thing that I want people to take out of the book, and the reason I wrote it, is because I see so many people who are trapped in a mental prison. That's why I call it prison of your own. And I was one of those individuals before I was physically incarcerated. I had to go into an actual prison to find true freedom within myself. And that's what I realized. Like, freedom is a state of mind, dude. It's something that's internalized. And there's so many people out here right now in America in 2025 that have every opportunity you can imagine at their fingertips, but they don't take advantage of it. It's because they live in a mental prison they've created. So I teach you how to break free of those limiting beliefs, how to create new and empowering beliefs that will serve you, and then how to align them with the right actions to become unstoppable. So if you want to be a better parent, you want to make more money and grow your business, you want to become someone that's disciplined, that book is going to give you all the actionable steps to do that.
I love it. I tell people often in my coaching program, like, do you really know a lot of people that gave their all and failed? Like, it's really, just take a look at the statistics, y'all. If y'all get up and just be about it and know which direction you're going, there's not a lot of people that you look up to that once they decided to give their all, were they going to fail?
Yeah. And, when I first started on my journey of like bettering myself, I was in jail. And, when you finally go for it, there's always this fear of like, oh man, what if it doesn't work out? And it's normal for the first couple of years.
That's the biggest one, Sean. That's the biggest fear.
Couple of years, you have that doubt and fear creep back in your mind, and then you just keep taking action. But I'd have to coach myself. I remember in those moments where I'd start feeling nervous about the future or doubtful, I'd have to remind myself, Sean, do you see motivated, positive, hardworking people just sleeping on park benches out in society?
Yeah.
Like, no, you don't, bro. You figure it out. And as long as you're willing to do the work and you have the best attitude, you give the maximum effort you possess, like, things work out for you. They always do. But it's that internal battle with ourselves we got to learn to win. Because once you learn how to overcome that inner fear, that doubt, those negative energies, the whole world and all your goals become feasible for you.
I appreciate you. I know the listeners are going to love this. How can they find you?
Yeah, on Facebook, Sean Michael Crane, Sean spelled S-E-A-N. Instagram, Sean_Crane_official. Reach out, shoot me a follow, shoot me a DM. I answer all my messages. Love to connect with you guys. If you want to check out the website for mindset, fitness, nutrition coaching, or the blood work we do, it's unstoppable365.com.
Let's go. Sean, I appreciate you, brother. We'll talk soon.
Likewise, brother.
Absolutely.